So, are you looking for a competitive zero luck strategy game, very similar to games like League of Legends and other type of MOBA defense systems? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. This is the Should You Back series for Guards of Atlantis 2. If you are looking for more information regarding this campaign, whether or not you should back it, if this is a game you might be interested in, this video will be for you. My name is Brian. Welcome back to Game Brigade. I do these series every once in a while where we dive into a campaign, go over the pros and cons of the value, also cover the complete campaign so you have a good idea of what to expect if you're looking at backing this game. Hopefully it's helpful. Let's start with the game. Okay, so let's dive right into Guards of Atlantis 2. This is currently on GameFound. They're sitting at $500,000 with nearly 3,000 backers. That is an awesome way to do so far. And this is their second printing of Guards of Atlantis 2. Now, Guards of Atlantis obviously is the original product, but this is the second printing, which is going to be bringing us some additional content, as well as some errata changes to the original system to kind of clean up some of those rules situations that they had. This is brought to you by Wolfa Designa, a Latvia-based indie development company. If you want to see more information on what they've backed, you just click on their name here, and you can look at some of their previous campaigns if that would interest you. We are going to be diving straight into the campaign now, talk about what this game is and how it plays, so you guys have a better understanding of how this works. So Guards of Atlantis 2 is a strategy-based, card-playing MOBA style game. What that means is players are going to be signed to a team. They're going to be moving across these hexagonal boards where you're going to be fighting in different types of regions that are going to be containing different types of NPC mobs that are going to be assigned to each team. As you can see here, there are blue and orange minis on this map. These are the minions, as you would say. And players are going to take control of one of these different types of heroes. These heroes range in the type of abilities they can do. There's a vast difference in the way each one feels and plays. Very similar to games like League of Legends or Dota, if you know that one, where each character has a unique feel to them. This gameplay will use a hand of 5 cards, where you're going to play a card from your hand that has either a primary active ability or secondary abilities, depending on what you want to use in that situation. And you basically will all play simultaneously, where all players will play their cards face down and then reveal them once everyone's done that. And based on an initiative system, cards will be resolved in turn order from that, doing as you would like to do with those cards. This game is incredibly fun. It is very, very high skill level, but easy to teach. So those are two things I love to have. I love to have a game I can introduce people to that are kind of into that competitive movement or feeling, but have it be where the skill level, the ceiling of potential being at where you could be is very, very high. And I don't know if I've even seen it myself because the characters are just so vastly different and complex as you go up. So this campaign has a little bit of differences from the original campaign. So we're going to talk about some of those things real quick. So we're going to go up to the FAQ and we're going to click on this. And they have an update here kind of explaining some of the changes. So we're going to talk about those. First thing is stretch goals and any kind of unlocks. They feel like that the campaign is fully fleshed out as it is, so they're just going to release all the content up front so you have a better understanding of the value of this game to you based on what you're seeing. There's no stretch goals. There's no hidden FOMO behind this, other than the fact that this game is nearly impossible to find when it's not through a crowdfunding source. It's very, very difficult to find this game in secondary market, and I've personally never seen it in a retail store. Not that it can't exist if a retail store backed it, but again, that's going to be backing levels, not through distribution. So there aren't going to be any stretch goals or unlocks, but they are going to include any of the original campaign's unlocks, obviously, so to keep that level of complexity and quality high. The plastic inserts are going to be retooled and refinished, especially considering the lid that was currently with the original game. It was an awful storage solution. The cards slid around, things were not able to stay in place, and so I'm glad to see that they are addressing the insert and looking to fix it. And they're also going to be including a tuck boxes for people who have the first edition if you want to try to figure out a solution. Now, luckily, I have a solution to keep things from sliding around around. But I'm curious how this is going to go. They're also changing the box size, and let's talk about this. They're going to be doing a normal size. Now, when I say normal size, just think more standard board game size core box. The original Guardians of Atlantis 2 core box is a full-size box, which is capable of holding all of the content from that game. So basically, if you didn't buy the all-in, you were going to have a lot of extra space, which is unfortunate for some, but it did require most people to buy the all-in, which included all the hero packs. And we'll talk about that later in terms of the value. So the big backs was voted on by the original backers of the first campaign. They decided that with the way this game is designing and the way that they have many more characters coming down the pipeline, it doesn't make sense for them to keep continually printing a bigger and bigger box. So what they want to do is they're just going to condense the size of the box, which is a little bit less intimidating for people who are looking to get into the game, as well as for travelability and mobility, to move that box around so you can just take the champions you might want to play with you. But then you're going to have separate boxes for the different hero champs. So it's going to increase the amount of boxes you're going to have on your shelf rather than condensing them, but it's going to make it a little bit more easily to transport around your places or take it to conventions or whatever, as well as less intimidating for new people who don't have to see this giant box hitting the table. Now, the new hero packs that are currently in this release, if you have the original big box, they will fit in the big box, but there's going to be about an inch lift in that regard. So if you're okay with that inch lift, that will be there. Otherwise, you're going to have to store them separately. They're also going to be including an updated rule book, which is include all the errata that was basically found through the Discord and the community within the company. So that's awesome. Revises some of the existing cards. This is needed because there are some cards that had some clarity issues. So they're just reworking some of the clarity, but they're not changing the way the cards work in this regard, just making it so it's more easier to understand. And then they're going to be changing the maps. I thought this was an interesting change. So they're talking about how the original map, which is this magma one, I believe. The reverse side is, I don't think they have a photo of it here. Let me see if I just do this. Yeah, I don't have it. Let me click this. I don't know why I'm showing you this because I'll show it to you later, but I want to do it anyways. So this is the reverse side of the map. They are going to be changing the map effectively in the game to what they feel like is going to be a little bit more balanced for the 4 to 6 player or 4 to 8 player experience. So you'll still have options to buy the old new map, Guardians of Atlantis 2 map, which is better at like a 10 player count, but they believe that this new map will be a better fit for the players that are most likely played. So they talk about that here. For this printer, we're going to place the magma and ice map with the across the river in the game box. We do this because we believe that this map is better at 6 player count than the other 2-lane map, because these are both 2-lane maps. It'll make a better fit for the new core box. You know what I would love to see? I don't know if this is something they could do if Wolf had designed. I would love to see what a 3-lane map looks like, but it's going to be for 10 players, like a 10 player only 3-lane. I wonder how that would play. That'd be sweet to me. I think that'd be super cool to see. So that's something to note if you are interested in that. And then we have the new hero packs, and so we're going to dive into that. But let's go back to the original campaign and come on down to the pledge levels so we can take a look. So first off the bat, we have Guardians of Atlantis 2 for 60 euros. You get the core box. Now remember, this is going to be that smaller size box. So this is not going to be by itself 10 players out of the box. It is for 2 to 6 because it's going to include up to 7 heroes in this core box, ranging from 1 to 2 star difficulty. Now, these stars do not necessarily mean the strength of the character in terms of how good it is. It just means how complex the character is to play and to do the things that this character likes to do. All the characters have a unique type of play style, and I feel like the lower the star counts means it's a little bit easier to play the play style effectively to get the most out of the champion. When you get to the higher star player counts or higher star champion level, so the 3 and then even the 4, they're still powerful. Sometimes power level creep a little bit, but to effectively play that character at the level it wants to be played, to be at that power level, is harder. So that's kind of that ceiling I was talking about in terms of that skill level. So this is going to be giving you a bunch of the new heroes. I've played Arian, Brogan, who else have I played? Wasp and Zargath. I played these four actually. So good heroes, very easy to understand, and I like that they give you a little variety in types of heroes, that they have different personalities. So this gives you a good rundown of how it works if you're interested in the amount of components. But this will get you straight out of the box, good to go, playing the game. It's very good value at 60 euros. But I just did a review on this game. I don't know if you've seen the review. I'll put a little click up here for it'd be right here actually. Whatever, doesn't matter. I'll put a little notation up there for you if you'd like to see my review. One of the things I talked about when it was coming to this game specifically is that a lot of the enjoyment and excitement came from all of the variety of different heroes that you have available to you. So if we go and click this, you can see that there's a vast majority of different types of heroes available. So you have these ones that are part of the core box, and then these ones are all going to be additional new heroes for you to play with. So one of the things I loved about the game is that the fact that there's a different type of hero for different types of play styles depending on what you want to play. But the hard thing is knowing which ones those are without having to read all their cards, which is kind of hard. There is a cool little breakdown that they have on here if you're looking for like a synopsis of each type of hero. So anyways, one thing I might recommend is this Guards of Atlantis 2 core box is very good value. But I do think that some of these hero packs, adding in your roster to increase the roster, even so it's available to a 10-player game, is something to consider. They actually have a breakdown, if you're interested in, of what they would recommend. So here they have a gallery of all the available heroes, and they talk about what we'd recommend if you were to buy, say, a la carte heroes. So I think that's pretty nice. If you only plan to get a single hero pack, they recommend the Devoted or the Defiant pack. So you can come up here and see the Defiant or the Devoted. These are some of the original printing characters. The new characters, if you're looking for just the new stuff, is going to be the Wayward pack and the Arcane pack. These are going to have probably more complex and interesting because they're going to be completely different types of play styles. But I do think they're going to be a little bit more complex, so be aware of that. And you'll see that there is a 4-star hero here with Gideon, and they're actually potentially changing Ignita, who is part of the original set, from 3 to 4, because she is a little bit more of a complex hero. So that's going to be the first all-in, or the first pledge level here at the 60 euros. You can look at this all in now. This is what I purchased the first time, minus those 2 new packs. But this gave me a very large amount of assortment of heroes to play, and it is worth it. I definitely think that this is a pledge level. If you are a person who could get this tabled, this is going to be a game that you could last you for a very long time. There's a lot of fun things that you can play with pick and bans, where you can have all the heroes available to your team, and based on player order, you can have one person get first pick. The next team gets 2 picks. Then they go back to these guys. They get 2 picks. Very, very interesting in terms of the picking. You can even do a ban phase where you'd be like, okay, this team gets to ban a champion, so no one can use that. A lot of fun stuff that you can do, but you kind of have to have that library of available heroes to your liking. So this is what I purchased. This was a good deal in terms of you wanting to get everything. So if you are like me, though, and you purchased the original game, they have the new hero update pack for you, which I will probably consider picking up, because this is going to just increase my hero count and give me some of these more fun heroes that I haven't had a chance to play with. So other than that, we're going to go on down to shipping and check out the shipping labels here. For US, if you're going to be getting the base game plus all hero packs, you're looking at 30 euros. It's a significant amount of content, a lot of stuff. Definitely okay at that price for myself, because you're looking at just the base game, 22 euros. That's pretty common, maybe a little higher overall, but we have to understand the weight of this game is significant there because you have a lot of plastic and components inside the box. Other than that, you can check out the rest of the stuff. VAT will not be included in this, so you're going to have to check your VAT pricing. They talk about that in the FAQ. So if you're part of the EU or UK, be aware that VAT will be collected during the Pledge Manager. So with that, let's go back to my main camera and talk about this game in general. Guards of Atlantis 2 is a really fun game. I really enjoyed overall my game time with it. I just did a review of that, as I said. I gave this game an 8.6. Now, my rating scales in terms of my review, as you get closer to 10, the point differences get bigger. So when I say that the difference between a 7 and a 7.5 is about the same as an 8 to an 8.5 to an 8.7. Like they get tighter. It's harder to go up higher in that value, if that makes sense. So an 8.6 is a very, very good score. There were things that I had issues with in terms of overall. There was times where the cards were harder to understand the way it played, so we had to use resources like BGG or Discord, which is luckily available for you if you need those advantages. We also found that it is a high barrier to entry in terms of the cost to get the experience that I was wanting. I mentioned this in my review that it's very expensive. It's definitely an expensive game. So being able to luckily pick up a la carte, if that's what you're looking for, is an option. I personally don't care for the switch back to a normal size game box. I think the big box is a better solution, but personally with my collection, I don't like having different boxes available. I like having everything condensed as much as possible, but that's me. I'm a minority in that regard. Some people like having the flexibility to their boxes. Would I recommend this game? Yes, I would. I definitely think it's a great game, but again, of course, make sure you check the heroes and check the complexity. I know there's some people trying to get some playthrough videos out, so I would check to see if there's any type of playthrough content, because I think it would be really cool to get this game out in the world smart. I think it's a really cool game. I enjoy playing it at conventions, so hopefully you guys enjoy it too. My name is Brian. Thank you for watching. This is Game Brigade. I will talk to you very soon.